Was it Kirk Frost who really advocated for her elimination? This isn't simply idle rumors, you know. Following years of on-and-off drama, private meetings, and heated disputes, it is now being revealed that Kirk issued an ultimatum to manufacturers. He walks or Karlie leaves. Everyone is now curious as to how their relationship became so serious that it is now impacting their whole lives. According to those with knowledge of the matter, Kirk was unable to cope with the most recent charges brought against him by Karlie. Apparently, he was so shaken by those outrageous receipts she dropped on camera that she'd be removed off the program entirely. According to some sources, Rashida is stuck in the center of it all, divided between her husband and her lifelong companion. From confidential phone conversations to difficult situations, fans haven't yet witnessed the amount of work that has been done behind the scenes. So, what really took place? Was Kirk using his position of authority to save his reputation? Or is this simply another episode in the never-ending drama that has held hip-hop and love fans captive? Truly, it all began when rumors started to circulate. Atlanta's private filming locations and lounges. The kind of subtle conversation that doesn't just go away overnight. Members of the production crew were implying that something significant had gone down behind closed doors between Karlie Redd and Kirk Frost. Now, everyone they were aware that their past included tumultuous business dealings, past liaisons, and an excessive number of late-night chats captured on video. However, it seemed heavier this time. It wasn't about a tangential dispute or a plot twist. It was said that Kirk had withdrawn producers, and he bluntly said that until Karlie was taken off the program completely, he would not be returning to shoot. When those rumors surfaced, the blogs first. Small headlines that read, "Sources say Kirk Frost wants Karlie Redd to leave Love and Hip Hop Atlanta." Fans weren't sure at first whether or not to accept it. Drama like that is, after all, the foundation of reality TV. However, new information purportedly began to surface. Karlie and Kirk had a private conversation, disagreement that wasn't even intended for filming. According to insiders, it occurred after one of the reunion tapings where Karlie showed up with some serious receipts about Kirk's business moves, claiming he'd been hiding money from Rashida. According to folks who were there, Kirk lost it in front of producers demanding they shut down the cameras and threatening to walk. After that night, things changed. Karlie was reportedly missing from several scheduled shoots, while other cast members were filming at the Frost family store or hanging out at clubs. Karlie was nowhere in sight. Even on social media, she'd gone a little quiet, only posting vague captions like, "Sometimes silence says more than words." That's when fans really started putting the pieces together, asking why Karlie wasn't popping up in group shots anymore, or being tagged in cast outings. People close to Rashida said she was feeling all types of conflicted. But on one hand, Karlie had always been around part of her circle, even when things were shaky. On the other hand, Kirk was her husband, and if he really felt betrayed by whatever Karlie had done or said, Rashida couldn't exactly ignore that. One friend of hers apparently told a gossip page that Rashida was over it, tired of being caught in the middle of the same cycle of drama year after year. Some even wondered if Rashida herself had quietly agreed with Kirk's decision, telling producers she wouldn't push back if they decided to let Karlie go for real as days turned into weeks. More signs showed up. Karlie wasn't promoting the show like she usually would during a new season. Normally, she'd be all over Instagram posting clips, teasing episodes, showing off outfits from set, but now it's nothing. The only thing fans saw was a single story post of her sitting in a car looking out the window captioned, "Stay true even when they turn on you." It didn't take long for fan pages to start speculating hard with comments like this, "Feels like goodbye," and "Is Karlie done? For real?" Things escalated when an entertainment site posted what they claimed were leaked texts between Kirk and one of the producers. In those messages, Kirk allegedly wrote, "It's her or me. Straight up. I'm not going back to set until y'all figure this out." Even though there was no way to confirm if those texts were real, it had everyone talking. The screenshots looked believable. Enough casual language, timestamps, everything fitting the timeline of when Karlie went missing from shoots. Some fans were convinced right away, saying Kirk must have finally had enough after all the years of backhand dash forth. But not everyone bought into it so quickly. A lot of folks pointed out that Love and Hip Hop has pulled stunts like this before, stirring up rumors to boost ratings. Some people commented things like, "Watch, she pop up on the finale with some big surprise," or "This is just PR. Don't fall for it." Still, there was something about how quiet Karlie herself was staying that made it feel real. This time, usually, she'd jump in to set the record straight if the blogs were out of pocket, but now she wasn't saying a word. Behind the scenes, other cast members were starting to get asked about it during interviews and live streams. Scrappy was on a live one night and somebody asked in the comments if Karlie really got fired. His face said it all. He didn't confirm it, but he didn't deny it either. All he said was, "Man, I ain't going to speak on that. Y'all got to watch and see what's up." And with that, it felt like there really was something happening they weren't allowed to speak on just yet. What really pushed the conversation into overdrive was when a well-known Atlanta blogger posted a video breaking everything down in detail. In that video, they claimed to have spoken directly to two different crew members who confirmed that Kirk's demand was real. According to them, Kirk felt like Karlie had crossed a line by bringing up certain personal business on-camera stuff that wasn't part of the storyline and could hurt his family in real life. The blogger even mentioned that Kirk supposedly said if Karlie wasn't gone, he and Rashida would both leave the show entirely. Now, that's a big statement because everybody knows how central they are to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Without Kirk and Rashida, a whole lot of the show's energy would be gone. All of that added even more fuel to the fire, and fans were left divided. Some people said Kirk was just trying to control the narrative and protect himself, while others felt like maybe Karlie really had taken things too far this time. There were even debates online about whether producers should cave to Kirk's demands or stand firm and keep Karlie on the cast. After all, she's been part of the show's core drama since the early days, and Love and Hip Hop without her just wouldn't feel the same to a lot of viewers while all this was unfolding publicly. Sources said the production team was in serious meetings trying to figure out how to handle the situation. Apparently, they were weighing their options, discussing whether letting Karlie go would actually hurt the show more than keeping her around. Some insiders claimed there were talks about giving Karlie a reduced role instead of fully firing her, maybe cutting her down to guest appearances rather than full-time status. But nothing had been confirmed, and that just kept the tension building. Even higher among the fan base behind all the public rumors and social media speculation, things backstage were reportedly getting even messier. Word from crew members was that Kirk wasn't just making idle threats. He had actually stopped showing up to scheduled scenes. Production insider said Kirk refused to film until his demands were addressed, leaving entire shoot days canceled or delayed because he simply wasn't there. Rashida was caught in a complicated position during all of this. From what people close to her shared, she kept filming her solo scenes and business-related segments, but any scenes involving both Kirk and other cast members were put on pause. Meanwhile, the vibe around the other cast members shifted. Folks like Bambi and Scrappy were said to be on edge, unsure whether the whole show was about to get thrown off balance. Fans noticed small signs too, like Bambi posting cryptic Instagram stories with captions like, "Fake people always get exposed in the end," while Scrappy tweeted and deleted a message that said, "When loyalty don't go both ways, you got to move different." None of them named Karlie directly, but everyone watching could feel the tension brewing under the surface. The real breaking point came during a private meeting between producers and both Kirk and Rashida. According to a reliable blog source, this wasn't just some casual sit-down, happened at one of the show's regular filming spots, completely closed, off from cameras. There were claims that Kirk laid everything out, explaining exactly. At the same time, Karlie was keeping her distance from all the drama, at least in public. She wasn't speaking out, wasn't doing interviews, and wasn't posting any behind-the-scenes content. Her fans started filling her comment sections with messages like, "Don't let them do you like this, Karlie, and we got your back, sis." Some supporters even started trending hashtags like #KKEEP, KARLIEON LHHATL, showing just how invested the fan base really was and whether she stayed or left the show while all this was blowing up online. Kirk and Rashida stayed unusually quiet too. They didn't address any of the rumors directly, which only added more fuel to the fire. Some bloggers pointed out that Kirk's silence made it feel more real-like. If it wasn't true, he would have denied it by now. Instead, he kept posting casual content, pictures of him at the gym, clips of Rashida promoting her, thing that even hinted at the situation brewing in the background. One thing that really caught people's attention was a leaked video clip from what appeared to be a production meeting. It wasn't long, just a few seconds, but in it, you could hear someone's voice saying, "We have to decide now. Kirk's not budging." Fans quickly recognized the room setup as one often used for the show's planning sessions. Even though the faces weren't visible, that single clip got shared thousands of times across social media. Viewers couldn't stop dissecting it, breaking down whose voice it was and what exactly it meant for the future of the show. By this point, even other folks from other franchises like Miami and New York started posting reaction videos or tweets weighing in on the situation. Expressed shock that Kirk would really understood his position. One posted on their story, "Sometimes you've got to protect your family first, TV money second," which many believed was a direct reference to what Kirk was allegedly doing. Dawn, as more and more people got involved in the conversation, fan theories exploded. There were threads breaking down Karlie's entire history on the show, highlighting every time she'd clashed with Kirk or Rashida before. Some fans argued that Karlie had always been a key piece of the drama puzzle, so removing her would ruin the balance of the cast. Others felt like maybe it was time for her to move on, especially if things really had gotten so personal that had crossed a line from entertainment into real-life damage. Amid all this noise, the production team reportedly made one final attempt to bring everyone together for a resolution. Sources said they organized a private sit-down, no cameras, no crew, just Kirk, Rashida, Karlie, and a couple of key producers. The goal was to see if they could smooth things over without having to take drastic steps like firing Karlie. Word from someone close to the situation was that emotions ran high during that meeting. Kirk was said to be calm but firm, repeating that he wasn't comfortable continuing on the show if Karlie stayed. Rashida apparently kept quiet for most of it, letting Kirk speak for both of them. Karlie, on the other hand, back with her arms crossed, barely saying a word until the end. According to that same source, when Karlie finally did speak up, she said something that caught everyone off guard. Allegedly, she looked Kirk dead in the eye and said, "Trying to erase me from day one, but even if y'all cut me out, my name's there." After that, the meeting reportedly ended without any clear resolution. Kirk and Rashida walked out first, leaving producers to figure out what to do next. Fans never got to see that meeting, but once again, word leaked out through the usual channels. By this point, social media was buzzing nonstop with debates, breakdowns, and predictions. Everyone was waiting for some kind of official statement, either from VH1, the production company, or one of the cast members themselves, but all that came with silence, leaving fans stuck trying to read between the lines based on who was posting what, who was unfollowing who, and who was staying completely quiet. During all this chaos, one final twist hit the blogs. A well-connected source posted that producers were considering bringing in a completely new cast member to replace Karlie if she really was removed. Supposedly, they'd already started scouting potential replacement, someone younger, with ties to Atlanta's music. Seen and ready to bring fresh energy to the show, this only added more fuel to the fire, making fans even more anxious to find out whether Karlie's time on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta had really come to an end. Underneath the bright lights and flashing cameras, an undercurrent of tension had been simmering for weeks before anyone outside the production realized it. Quiet whispers circled among crew members about heated exchanges that weren't part of the scripted drama. People who worked closely with Karlie and Kirk noticed that rehearsal rooms felt colder, like the air itself had been saturated. Kirk Frost, usually standing in front of the lens, was showing up to shoots with arms crossed and eyes narrowed, refusing to engage in small talk or smile for the cameras if Karlie Redd was nearby. Production assistants who delivered call sheets spoke in hushed tones about seeing Kirk storm out of green screen meetings when Karlie walked in, leaving confused makeup artists and directors trying to fill awkward silences. Meanwhile, Karlie Redd carried on with her routines, keeping up her usual social media blitz with sponsored posts and glam snapshots. But insiders say she was gripping her phone so tightly her knuckles she vented two close friends at Atlanta's upscale lounges, complaining that Kirk had forgotten all the side by side. The loyalty she shown in awkward moments. A nightlife promoter recalled seeing Karlie collapse into a velvet sofa, eyes glossy as she whispered, "He's always had me in his corner. How he's trying to erase me from the story." That sort of raw vulnerability was never intended for filming. It felt more compelling than any storyline the producers could have written, as these off-camera skirmishes. The production office became a war room, with subject lines like urgent cast conflict and legal needs clarification. Producers found themselves juggling contractual obligations and star temperaments. On one hand, Karlie was a ratings magnet whose unexpected remarks and fiery personality always made for juicy episodes. On the other hand, Kirk and his wife Rashida represented a powerhouse duo whose real-life business ventures and relationship milestones had become intertwined. With the show's identity, executives held late-night conference calls, fingers drumming, anxious rhythms on polished mahogany tables. trying to gauge whether capitulating to Kirk's demands would fracture the show's core or preserve its stability. The situation escalated. When Kirk's legal team officially stepped in, suddenly, what had been informal ultimatums whispered in hallways transformed into formal notices, citing specific clauses in filming contracts. Production insiders shared that Kirk's lawyers had scanned for any leverage clauses about personal privacy, family safety, and defamation, then used them to justify Kirk's refusal to work alongside Karlie. Producers, taken aback by the sudden legal pressure, scrambled to consult their own attorneys. Emails flew at all hours outlining potential breach of contract scenarios if Karlie continued to appear in the same scenes as Kirk. The aura of scripted drama dissolved, replaced by the stark reality that this was now a full-blown business dispute, with potentially costly implications. In the midst of these high-stakes negotiations, social media became a battlefield. Fans noticed that Karlie's usual engagement posts were replaced by ambiguous quotes about betrayal and perseverance. One caption, simply read, "When they think they can break you, that's when you learn how to rebuild yourself." Myers flooded the comments with supportive cries. "We love you, Queen. Don't let them dim your light. You're a legend, Karlie." At the same time, Kirk's posts centered on family moments with Rashida and their children smiling. Faces captioned, with heart emojis creating a stark contrast. Fans dissected every image, every emoji, reading hidden messages in lines where none might have existed. As rumors spread online, low-level cast members became unwilling pawns. Bambi, known for her playful teasing of Karlie in early seasons, found herself fielding awkward questions on Instagram live sessions. She danced around inquiries, insisting, "I'm just here for the vibes." But her forced grin betrayed discomfort. Scrappy at the whirlwind, Karlie took a stand. Sources say she organized a private meeting with her closest allies, makeup artists, stylists, and a couple of producers she trusted to strategize her next move. She refused to let Kirk's legal tactics intimidate her off the platform that had propelled her celebrity. An insider described her as fiery and undeterred, mapping out alternative appearances, potential spin-off concepts, and backup plans to remain visible regardless of what VH1 decided. She reportedly told her team, "I built my brand on truth, and I'm not about to hide when they want to bury me." While Karlie prepared her contingency, Kirk orchestrated a parallel campaign. According to employees who overheard late-night calls, Kirk was in discussion with executive producers about reshaping the show's narrative to minimize Karlie's presence without explicitly firing her tactics like reducing her storyline, shifting her scenes to off-air footage and focusing promotional material on other cast members. Producer faintly admitted in a whispered hallway confession, "They want to save face, so they're ghosting her storyline until it winds down naturally." When a trailer clip flashed Karlie for barely a second, viewers took it as confirmation of the silent coup. As the official filming schedule was released, a glaring omission pointed to the heart of the conflict. Karlie's name appeared only in the list of guest appearances, not in the main cast line. Liners tasked with coordinating logistics noticed her call times had shrunk from full-day shoots to brief cameo slots. Call sheets marked Karlie Redd next to TBD. That ambiguous notation felt like a written confession. Production was buying time, waiting to see if Kirk and Rashida would continue filming without full resistance. Fans reacted with outrage, creating online petitions and trending hashtags shouting, "Keep Karlie and don't let Kirk win." Supporters flooded the show's official social media pages demanding answers, while VH1 remained mum. A single statement from a network spokesperson floated in entertainment news outlets, aware of ongoing cast discussions and working toward an amicable resolution that honors all parties involved. Vague message did little to quell speculation. Instead, it served as proof that something major was unfolding behind closed doors. At the same time, whispers circulated that Karlie was exploring alternative opportunities. Rumors suggested she'd been in talks with other networks for her own reality series, entrepreneurial ventures, and personal journey. Word was the potential sponsors who admired her resilience. A close friend said Karlie was ready to pivot, framing the potential loss of love and hip-hop as an opportunity rather than a setback. Through it all, the tension between Kirk and Karlie remained electric together over narrative control, personal reputation, and the very future of their on-screen partnership. Every photo, every leaked screenshot, every fleeting social media story felt like another chapter in an unscripted saga that blurred the line between television spectacle and real life. Upheaval as cameras rolled for what fans assumed was the next blockbuster episode. The real drama played out off-screen in boardrooms, private messages, and legal corridors, setting the stage for a climax nobody could predict. As the cameras rolled for what fans assumed would be another explosive reunion episode, what unfolded felt more like a hostage negotiation than a television taping. Kirk Frost arrived on set with Rashida by his side, each step measured, each glance charged with electric tension. Production assistants whispered among the elves that Kirk had insisted on a special rider to ensure Karlie Redd wouldn't be on the same floor of the studio. Some crew members joked darkly that they'd have to build a physical wall between the two of them just to keep Kirk calm. Meanwhile, Karlie pulled up hours later, filming a single interview in a separate suite. The walls painted a muted gray instead of the show's signature bright purple, signaling that her scenes were now siloed and symbolically isolated. Inside the taped interview room, Karlie sat poised, repeating sound bites about strength and self-worth, while expertly masking any bitterness. But if you looked closely, her eyes flickered with restrained fire. Her lips curled into a half-smile that said she was far from defeated. Off-camera, her stylist slipped her a reassuring nod, letting her know they were all in this together. One of her makeup artists, a longtime friend, later confessed to feeling like she was watching a live chess match. Every gesture and expression was a calculated move, a signal in a much larger game out on the studio floor. Kirk and Rashida were meeting with executive producers under a bright LED grid. According to rumors, Kirk held the court like a seasoned attorney, calmly reciting bullet points about contractual breaches and brand protection. Producers nodded along, taking notes and occasionally glancing at their phones, where texts from arrived in real time. Rashida, elegant in a crisp white blazer, spoke only when prompted, her voice steady but soft as though she were the eye in a storm of accusation and pressure. Between takes, the secondary cast members roamed the hallways, their usual camaraderie dampened by uncertainty. Bambi lingered near the craft table, absently stirring her coffee, while her eyes darted toward the entrance where Karlie had once walked. Scrappy paced back and forth, phone in hand, scrolling through fan pages and murmuring about what this would do to ratings. Other cast members made small talk about wardrobe malfunctions or weekend plans, but their laughter sounded forced, as though they were collectively holding their breath. All the while, social media exploded. Every fan account live-streamed Backstage, glimpses zooming in on empty chairs labeled Karlie Redd and special guest, to prove the network was planning to marginalize her role. Late-night podcasts dedicated entire episodes to debating whether this power play would backfire spectacularly. Trending hashtags like #Kirk11 and #BrinkArai battled each other in Twitter's trending list, showing an audience split down the middle. Even algorithms seemed to pick up on the tension, serving clips of Karlie's micro-expressions next to Kirk's cold stares as top drama clips for reality TV enthusiasts. When it came time to film the group scene, ostensibly the moment intended to reunite every cast member, production trickery became obvious. Karlie appeared on screen for a mere 5 seconds, seated alone on a raised platform while Kirk and Rashida stood together in the foreground. Directors staged camera angles so that Karlie's reactions were only captured in wide shots, depriving her of the kind of close-ups that typically drive viewers' emotional engagement. It was clear that the network had decided to let Kirk dominate the narrative visually, leaving Karlie in the background where her influence would be minimized. Yet, despite every effort to bury her presence, Karlie managed a defiant shine. During that brief group shot, the camera panned to her as she mouthed a single phrase, "Watch this space." Fans rewound that moment endlessly, frame by frame, declaring it a mic drop moment, revealing that Karlie was far from out of the game. Social media flowed with memes and fan art portraying Karlie as a phoenix, rising from the ashes of frozen contracts and silent walk-offs. The subtext was clear. No matter how much the producers or Kirk tried to sideline her, Karlie's brand was indelible. As the day of taping wound down, production held a final private meeting. Kirk was said to be in a triumphant mood, leaning back in his chair while lawyers passed around printed versions of the revised filming contracts. Rashida nodded with quiet satisfaction. The message was unmistakable. Kirk had won the day, securing a diminished presence for Karlie that still kept her on record books, but effectively neutered her storylines. Yet something shifted when Karlie entered the room unannounced, her heels clicking confidently on the polished floor. Staffers exchanged nervous looks. No one had expected her to show up for that session. And spectators walked straight to Kirk, halting just a few feet from where he sat. The tension was so thick, you could hear it crackle. She offered a soft, unwavering smile and extended her hand. Kirk hesitated, eyes narrowing, before standing to shake it. It was a fleeting gesture, No hug, no words beyond that handshake. But observers later described it as the handshake that changed everything. It was as if Karlie were saying, "You can limit me on screen, but you can't break our real bond." And Kirk for a moment looked as if he considered lowering his defenses when the dust finally settled. Insider sources revealed a compromise. Karlie would retain a symbolic role in promotional content, teaser clips, press releases, select interviews, but her on-screen time would be tightly edited to favor Kirk and Rashida's story arcs. It was a nuanced victory for both sides. Kirk got the power play he demanded while Karlie secured a continued foothold in the show's promotion. Preserving her relevance, fans reacted with a mix of relief and skepticism, wondering if the compromise would hold or if another crisis lay just around the corner. The final episode aired days later, and true to the pact, Karlie's presence was sparse but unforgettable. Her scenes, though few, were loaded with tension as she delivered one last monologue about resilience and self-empowerment. Kirk and Rashida took center stage for the bulk of the drama. Yet, every time Karlie's clipped voice echoed through, the screen viewers leaned in, craving more. It was the perfect paradox. She was everywhere and nowhere at once. Love and Hip Hop officially dismissed Karlie Redd. Fans are in disbelief. Rumors around social media timelines and Atlanta streets really advocated for her elimination. This isn't simply idle rumors, Following years of on-and-off drama, private meetings, and heated disputes, it is now being revealed that Kirk issued an ultimatum to manufacturers. He walks or Karlie leaves. Everyone is now curious as to how their relationship became so serious that it is now impacting their whole lives. According to those with knowledge of the matter, Kirk was unable to charges. Karlie, apparently, he was so shaken by those outrageous receipts she dropped on camera that he'd be removed off the program entirely. According to some sources, Rashida is stuck in the center of it all, divided between her husband and her lifelong companion. From confidential phone conversations to difficult situations, fans haven't yet witnessed the amount of work that has been done behind the scenes. So, what really took place? Was Kirk using his position of authority to save his reputation? Or is this simply another episode in the never-ending drama that has held hip-hop and love fans captive? Truly, it all began when rumors started to circulate. Atlanta's private filming locations and lounges. The kind of subtle conversation that doesn't just go away overnight. Members of the production crew were implying that something significant had gone down behind closed doors between Karlie Redd and Kirk Frost. Now, everyone they were aware that their past included tumultuous business dealings, past liaisons, and an excessive number of late-night chats captured on video. However, it seemed heavier this time. It wasn't about a tangential dispute or a plot twist. It was said that Kirk had withdrawn producers, and he bluntly said that until Karlie was taken off the program completely, he would not be returning to shoot. When those rumors surfaced, the blogs first. Small headlines that read, "Sources say Kirk Frost wants Karlie Redd to leave Love and Hip Hop Atlanta." Fans were whether or not to accept it like that is, after all, the foundation of reality TV. However, new information purportedly began to surface. Karlie and Kirk had a private conversation, disagreement that wasn't even intended for filming. According to insiders, it occurred after one of the reunion tapings where Karlie showed up with some serious receipts about Kirk's business moves, claiming he'd been hiding money from Rashida. According to folks who were there, Kirk lost it in front of producers demanding they shut down the cameras and threatening to walk. After that night, things changed. Karlie was reportedly